Welcome everyone to another episode of Reese's Roundup. I am your host, the Lightning Kid himself, and today we're gonna switch it up. We're gonna switch it up a little bit. I was off last week and a lot has happened since then. So instead of doing one topic, I'm going to talk about everything that's happened over the week in a weekly mashup roundup, I guess you could say. Is this going to be a weekly thing? Probably not. I might do this every once in a while, but this just happened to be a really good week in sports. So let's start things off with basketball. Carmelo Anthony is on the trading block. Now, this doesn't really surprise me because the Rockets were trash with him. I mean, he really didn't contribute well for the Rockets. Chemistry issues. He was more, I mean, you can't really have three ISO ball players on one team. It just doesn't work out that way. Chris Paul is an ISO guy, James Harden's an ISO guy, and now you got Carmelo Anthony who wants the ball on every possession, wants to do something stupid with it on every possession. I mean, it just didn't work right with the Rockets. Now, it looked good him going there on paper, but at the same time, it just you could kind of tell that it wasn't going to work out in the long run. And now he's being shipped out. And I mean, the Rockets were tanking anyway, so it kind of makes Melo look makes the whole Melo situation look worse than it already is. But at the same time, I mean, you just gotta roll with it, you know. At this point, where should Melo go? Home. I think he should retire. I think it's about time to wrap it up. You know, this is what you've been on: the Nuggets, the Knicks, the Thunder, and the Rockets. 4 teams. For the Hawks, I forgot he balled out on the Hawks. So I mean, I think it's time to call it quits. You know, he's out of his prime. He wasn't really meshing well with the Thunder. The Nuggets, I mean, the Knicks were really his last best team, and he wasn't really doing, I mean, he was doing really well in New York, but I mean, it wasn't good enough to get them to the playoffs every year he was on that team. So I think it's time to call it quits. I mean, I really don't see any team that he can ball out with. Maybe the Wizards, maybe the Pelicans. I don't know. I just don't see it. You know, he might do pretty well on the Blazers. The Blazers have always needed a small forward. But like I said, I have no idea. I think he should just retire, like I said. Is he a Hall of Famer? I don't know. Honestly, that's a tough call. But you know, we'll see. In other news, John Wall and Bradley Beal are on the trading block as well. Now, this came as a huge surprise to me because, I mean, they're the franchise of the Wizards, and the Wizards have not been playing well at all this season, and that comes as a huge shock, not just to me, but to everybody else who's a basketball fan. I mean, the Wizards are always getting into the playoffs. You know, you just never expected them to just fall apart like this. And it might be in part because of Dwight Howard going to visit trannies, but I mean, I just don't know. I don't know what's going on with Washington, and I do think they need a reboot, but to get rid of your star players in order to do that, I don't think that's a good idea. What's the best spot for them? I think Bradley Beal should go to the Grizzlies. Now, here's why I think Bradley Beal would fit with my Memphis Grizzlies. Now, the Grizzlies have always needed a shooting guard. Garrett Temple's good, but he's not Bradley Beal, and I think he would very well benefit with Mike Conley and Marc Gasol if he were to go to the Grizzlies. Who are the Grizzlies going to give up for Bradley Beal? Not a single player that they have that's worth Bradley Beal, but hopefully, you know, maybe they'll take Chandler Parsons, because I don't know. I mean, that guy's career is over. You know, he hasn't been the same. He hasn't been anything ever since he came to Memphis. So I think Beal to the Grizzlies would be a good fit. John Wall, I mean, I don't know. I don't see John Wall on any other team. I mean, the Wizards have always been his team, and it's weird seeing him somewhere else. Maybe the Knicks, maybe Milwaukee. I think he'd do pretty well with the Bucks. The Clippers are balling out. I think they're in need of a point guard though that will really take them, put them over the edge. Because, you know, Patrick Beverley's good, but he's no John Wall. So I think the Clippers would probably be his best fit. But other than that, I mean, I don't know. I don't know about John Wall. In football news, the best game of the season happened Monday night with the Rams and the Chiefs, with the Rams beating the Chiefs 54-51. It was a fantastic game. I watched it from start to finish. I could not leave my TV because of it. It was such a great game. No defense was being played, by the way. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes had 7 turnovers. Or was it 7 turnovers? I think he had a good amount of turnovers, but at the same time, you know, half of that was because of, it was like the fourth quarter. He had to just chuck, you know, the ball into the air. So, you know, it's about a couple stupid decisions, but, you know, that was just a great game. I really enjoyed watching that. But, you know, you gotta start playing defense eventually. And speaking of no defense, in college football, LSU just lost to Texas A&M 74-72. I said that right. College football, Texas A&M beat LSU 74-72. I mean, then again, it did take 7 overtimes in order for this to happen. But holy cow, 74 points in the SEC on top of that. I mean, my God, what? So, wow, that was, I mean, I didn't watch the game, but when I saw that final score, I was like, are you sure that's not college basketball? That's crazy. So, I mean, other than that, I mean, that's the only good thing that came out of football this week. In terms of baseball, Adrian Beltre retired. Definitely a Hall of Famer. First ballot, tough to, I don't know. I honestly don't know personally. I'm not really big on baseball, but I know Adrian Beltre is a really, you know, he really played his heart out. He played very long. He has over 3,000 hits. I mean, these, you know, his stat, you look at his stat line, I mean, he's got numbers that'll put him into the Hall of Fame for sure. But first ballot, I don't know, honestly. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below if you think Adrian Beltre is first ballot Hall of Famer. In other news, James Paxton was traded to the Yankees. I think that's good for the Yankees. The Yankees have always needed starting pitching. Tanaka's decent. Sabathia's average. I mean, they have Sonny Gray and Luis Severino who are good, but they always needed somebody to help them in the long run when Severino is out, or the other guy that I just named, Tanaka's not playing, you know. So Sonny Gray's not pitching. So I think with the addition of Paxton, they'll play better, hopefully. So we'll see. Last but not least, if you care about golf, Phil Mickelson defeated Tiger Woods. So if anybody cares about that, there you go. So let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. What the best thing was this week in terms of sports. Do you guys want to see a weekly roundup every week, or should I stick to one big topic and just talk about that for, you know, 7-8 minutes? Let me know in the comment section below. Let me know what you guys want to see for next week, and I'll see you then. I'm out. Peace.